Today is a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day, and I want to talk to you today about beliefs, about nurturing your beliefs, and about some of the beliefs that hold you back and hold you back from getting the things that you want. So as you come on, I love to always start with a moment of gratitude, something that is going to remind you of how great your life is. So you get to put something up there, share with somebody something that you're grateful for. Maybe an opportunity to have a problem. Sometimes people forget that life is supposed to have problems in it. Problems are what gives an opportunity to grow, to overcome our obstacles. And if you don't have a problem in your life, a challenge, something that you have to push up against, then sometimes you create problems that you don't need to create. But this morning I want to talk to you about nurturing your beliefs. I believe it's rule number 6. And where do your beliefs come from? And what sort of form of beliefs serve you or don't serve you? So as an example, if you know my story a little bit, you know that I grew up on a farm, and I grew up with the belief that life has to be difficult, that work is going to be always there. My father used to say to me, one day you're going to have to work hard. And not that there's anything wrong with working diligently and being passionate and having a focus, but a deep embedded belief that life is difficult can affect you and can cause you to attract difficult situations when they don't need to be there. What about if you were raised to believe that you're supposed to get great marks? You're supposed to be a good student. You're supposed to be somebody that is obedient or nice, or that is accommodating. I want you to think about some of the beliefs that you have that maybe drive you from the inside. And commonly, what happens is we have beliefs around, maybe I'm too young or I'm too old. We call them global beliefs. That rich people are a certain way, or that, if you're rich, you're a mean person, or you're somebody that is not spiritual. Can you think of some beliefs that currently have been guiding your life in a way that doesn't support you any longer, that it's time to let those things go? Maybe you've been told that you're supposed to be a certain way because of your sex or your race or where you grew up. I always to say to people is that if you grew up in, let's say, Asia or China or something like that, where they consumed a lot of rice, would you not eat more rice? So today is about looking under the hood at your life and saying, what are some of the ways that I operate that maybe no longer serve me? It's time to let those things go. So for instance, I talked a little earlier in the week about here in Los Angeles where I am, is that there are these little motorized scooters that you can recharge in the evening, and you can actually make a living getting paid $5 or $10 to recharge these vehicles. And there was a couple that I came across that are making $150 a night each by recharging these vehicles. Now, do they believe that work is difficult? Or maybe they believe that when you're created and committed, you can achieve anything. Now, there's other people that are unemployed that have not found a solution for that yet. What belief do they have? That, I don't have the time, or it's beneath me, or that's too much work. So as you look at the results in your life, an area in your life that you're not getting what you want, perhaps we'll use the typical example of your health or the way that you work out or don't work out. If you're not working out, what's the belief that's holding you back? Is it that I don't have enough time? Is it that I don't like to sweat? Is it that I don't enjoy working out, or I don't know how to work out? What is the belief behind the behavior or the lack of behavior that is holding you back from getting you what you want? And can you change that belief? Can you upgrade it, modify it, borrow it from somebody else so that you can get a result that you want? When I was a real estate agent back in the early 90s, I worked with a buyer for, I'd say, 3 months every Saturday. And they were very, very hesitant in their decision making. And one of the things that happened in those days is you showed a lot of properties. And after 3 months, one day I get a phone call from them telling me that they bought a home. They were all excited. Yeah, we found the house in an open house and we bought it. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're kidding me. You expect me to be happy for you after 3 months of working with you every Saturday for 2 hours and showing you properties, and now I'm not going to be paid anything? Do you actually know what you're saying? And I remember being in the office and kicking the office, the photocopy machine. It was late at night, and I was so upset. And this realtor came over to me, and she looked at me, and she said, "You okay?" And I'm like, told her the story. And she looked me in the eye, and she said, like I felt like quitting. And she's like, one day you're going to be the best agent in this company. And I'm like, you talking to me? You talking to me? And she goes, yeah, I'm talking to you. And she's like, you have a great work ethic and you're going to make it. And I didn't believe in myself. I doubted myself. I believed I was a loser. I believed that I was going to work hard and scrape the barrel. The bottom of the barrel. But I was able to borrow her belief in me, and it restored my ability to take action. It restored the faith that I had that maybe I could figure it out and that I could get a result better than the one I was currently getting. What area of your life currently right now are you maybe doubting yourself? Are you struggling? Are you thinking I'm not good with numbers, or I'm not good with, I don't have enough time or energy to work out? As you look at the pillars in M1 and you look as you go through this, are you comparing yourself to other people and saying to yourself, geez, maybe this is not meant to be for me. Maybe I'm one of those people that doesn't deserve to have a full life. Since I've been here in Los Angeles, it's been 6 weeks now. I've always wanted to move to California, but I doubted whether I was worthy enough, or whether I could step into it, or I could handle it, or I could adapt to it, or whether the visa situation would work out. It's so easy to doubt ourselves, isn't it? It's so easy to say, gosh, that's for other people, that great life. So today is about you looking at the places in your life that you're not getting what you want, and discover the limiting thought patterns around it, and then see if you can change it. And if you can't, have an open discussion with people that can maybe help you believe. And remember, a belief is a feeling of certainty. You have gathered enough references or evidence, a bit like Ian and Nick were talking on their call on Monday night, is it's your job to collect the evidence that you can do what you want to do. You know the story in 1954 of Roger Bannister, who ran the 4-minute mile. And most people thought that you would die if you ran the 4-minute mile, that you would be somebody that your heart would burst in your chest cavity. But after he ran it, 23 more people ran it the next year. What is that? That's a belief of certainty that it is possible. Surround yourselves by people that are getting the result that you want. And then find a way for you to start taking the action that will get you that result. Every time I've noticed that I don't have a result in my life is because I believe I'm either not worthy of it, or I don't have the contacts, or I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the skill set, I don't have the capacity in some way. So this is one of the reasons that we have M1, is in this tribe, you can be alongside other people that are getting the result that you claim in your mind, deep down in the recesses of your mind, that you can't get it. Does that make sense? So the step number one is for you to go, okay, what do I want? A lot of times people don't ever get what they want because they don't clarify or clearly state what they want. So step number one is to say, what do I want? Do you want to have a better body? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want to have more money? Do you want to have access to more contacts, resources, be a better speaker? What is the thing that you want? And often when you do that, your brain is going to go, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. So you have to say, well, what could I want? What do I really want? And push through to find out what it is that you want. Have the courage to ask, because maybe the belief system has been denying you for a long time what you really want. You're afraid to go for it. You're thinking you don't deserve it, or you can't get it, or you're in the wrong part of the world, or you were born at the wrong time, or the job that you have takes up too much of your time, and you just can't get what you want. Or maybe you haven't met the right person yet, and you think maybe I'll just never be in the proper relationship. So that's step number one. Then number two is to identify what's the belief behind it. So Luann says here, I hate reading contracts. I can't focus. Yes, I hear that a lot. I have ADD. I'm not able to focus. I can't learn the way other people do. I'm a weirdo. I'm a nut job, right? You hear all kinds of things like that. So number one, what do you want? Number two, what's the belief that's holding you back? And you know, it could be a simple thing like I'm addicted to sugar, or I'm not a morning person, or other people have it easier than I do. So once you've kind of identified what you want, and this is part of your meditation or your visualization, what's going to show up is what is preventing you. I don't have the energy. I'm introverted. I don't like people. I prefer to live in this part of the world. I don't like to work on weekends. There's something that's holding you back. There's some story you have. So if you want to put up there for anybody, what is one of your limiting beliefs? If you have the courage to put it up there, then let's talk about it. I don't like reading. I don't like reading a book. I only want to read audio programs, but I don't have the time to do it anymore. There is something there that is holding you back. Once you identify it, then what we want to do is we want to find the antithesis, the opposite. What would be the opposite of your current belief? Let's say it's that I'm Robert Montgomery. I'm not good with sales, not extroverted enough. Perfect. Thank you, guys. So let's use those as some examples. I have hit a plateau in my business and have no idea what limiting belief is holding me back. I hate planning. Thank you, guys. So fundamentally, there's a couple of things in all of those. So thank you. Number one is we are driven by pain and pleasure, at least the perception of pain and pleasure. If you so-called hate planning, is because in your mind, planning is more painful than not doing so. If you look at my Sunday system for success, I talk about the 5 reasons that people don't do it. And one of them is the fact that they believe they're going to give up some of their freedom. Yet, if you really think about it, freedom comes from order. It comes from knowing where you're going to go, what you're going to do. It's just the perception that one day maybe you had a plan where you were going to work out, you didn't feel like working out, and you're like, screw this, I just want to get up and do what I want when I want. We choose the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. What I do in order to motivate myself is I think about what are the consequences when I fail to plan. And when I fail to plan, then I have, and you plan to fail, yes, then you have this reactionary thing that's happening to you all the time. And maybe you're missing out on opportunities. And that's the part that I focus on. I get myself to focus on that when I don't take the short amount of time to plan, I focus on missing out on opportunities. And the missing out on opportunities becomes more painful than the time to plan. When I plan, I'm organized. I have my lunches ready. I have my clothes set out. I have gas in the car. And I enjoy those. So it's a matter of collecting the evidence that when you do plan, what the benefits are. When you do your miracle morning and you feel better, collect the evidence It's one of the reasons why I say to people that the journaling in the night may be more important than your miracle morning. Because what you do is you capture the lessons and you capture the benefits of doing the difficult things, having the discipline to do the things you did, that preparing your lunch and having snacks and being on path is a benefit to you. Maybe you feel like you're not, Robert says, I'm not good with sales. Okay, well, you may not be good with sales for a couple of reasons. Number one is deep down inside you feel unworthy of making a lot of money. So you have manifested this belief and therefore lived it out that you don't like to be pushy with people. You don't understand product well. You're not good with speaking. When I first started in real estate, it took me 9 months to make my first sale. Yeah, that's right, 9 months to make my first sale. I worked at a senior citizen home at night. And my shift started at dinner time. I cooked dinner, and then I played games with them, Scrabble. Then I helped them get to bed, and then I went to bed. And if they were up in the nighttime, I had to get up and help them maybe clean their bed, bathe them, and put them back to bed, and then wake up the next morning and get to work, knocking on doors. Now I had a belief. Number one, I'm not extroverted. I'm introverted. I'm shy. I had a belief that I wasn't good with being a salesperson. I didn't know what to say. So what I did was I quietly failed. I went knocking on doors where nobody could see how bad I was, hoping, and just through sheer desperation, knocked and knocked and knocked and knocked and knocked, and eventually somebody said yes, and I got in and I messed the whole thing up. And eventually somebody said yes to a listing, and then I overpriced it, and then I wasted my time on that. The learning curve was long because I was so afraid of being vulnerable and asking for help. Sales is a matter of educating people. Sales is simply understanding a product and then finding a person who needs that product and then answering their questions and helping them come to a solution. So what's a pain, Robert, that you would like to solve? You know, M1, the reason that I'm involved with M1 and I believe that it's the cure to cancer for personal development and for shifting your life is because I've watched people struggle with everything around the top 10 rules, around their money blueprints, and around leadership and leverage. They have nowhere where they feel safe and they can celebrate and where they can ask for help. So I've helped design it with a group of, the team. And, did it happen overnight? No. It's been 3 years we've been doing it, and we're still learning on how to provide an environment that serves you better. But sales is a skill. And it's a question of caring enough about people and finding something that you want to share with them and solve their problem. I'm pretty good at real estate because I understand the value of selling real estate. I learned how to be better with numbers. I would be the person that would search for the property day in and day out for somebody if I worked with a buyer. And if I was selling a property, I learned how to compare to other properties and provide them with value in the marketing piece. Sales is really something you can learn. And the way you learn is the same way we learn everything, is model somebody else, work with somebody else, shadow somebody else, and you can get better at it. And by the way, Robert, sales is a place that is going to help you make much more money than you're currently making. But I will say this, is that often people are afraid to sell because they don't feel worthy of being paid the amount of money. I remember when I first got a check for, I think it was like $4,000 or $5,000 when I was working at $10 an hour, and then I made a sale and I made that amount of money. Out of my mind feeling uncomfortable. Was I worthy of this? Just writing on a piece of paper and then showing people a house and making $4,000, $5,000, $6,000? No, I didn't feel worthy. It came up against my limiting belief about what I was worth. But I pushed through it and I started to, why not me? How about you say that? David Osborne always says to me, he thinks he's number one, he's lucky, and number two, he goes, why not me? Why can't I be the president of the United States? Why can't I be worth $100 million? Why can't I have a private jet? Why not me? Why is anybody else more worthy of you? It's not like when you were born, they stopped the baby making presses and they stamped on this person, this person is a loser. This person is unworthy, and you must struggle for the rest of your life, but everybody else is awesome. It doesn't work that way, although it does feel like it at times. My schedule is my story. I have a special schedule. It's different. Yes, So then if you look at rule number 4, Britt, is you look at your human needs. And by having a special schedule, it's different. You feel unique. You feel like you are different, and therefore you're going to get a different result. Maybe not a result that other people could get or could handle. The human needs become the driver in many cases. And being unique or special or significant is, for most people, from my experience, is a big, big driver. Unfortunately, you can meet your needs through empowering, neutral, or disempowering ways. And sometimes we do it through disempowering ways, although we don't know it. I'm not good for asking for what I want because others deserve it more. Heidi. Very good. Thank you for that. Again, the biggest question that we all deal with every frickin' day is, am I worthy? Am I good enough? Can I compete with these other people? Am I tall enough, short enough, smart enough, funny enough, good looking enough? Do I deserve to be loved the way other people are loved? Other people are smarter than we. We compare our inners to other people's outers. And that comes down to doing your miracle morning, your incantations, and literally waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror and say, I love you. You're a badass, Rock Thomas. You're a badass, Heidi. Because the negative's there, it's droning on, and you may have had your parents or some other loved person or a neighbor or a teacher tell you you're a loser, you'll never amount to much, life is difficult, you'll have to work hard for the rest of your life, and you're just living that out. So how about, why not me? I deserve to live a full life, a life of abundance, a life where I get to live my purpose, my mission, and make a difference in the world. And putting up boundaries can also be very important. Boundaries where you deserve to have some time off, or where you can say no to things. I know I say yes. You got to say yes and figure it out later, guys. And by the way, congratulations for having 68 people on the Rise with Rock this morning. Well done. Thank you for showing up and committing to a life of excellence, a life where you're curious and you want to learn, where you can contribute to other people. I have so much respect for those of you that continue to show up. The easiest thing to do is to fade out in life. But you decided to get up this morning and to show up. So congratulations to you. I say that sincerely. And I want to ask you while I'm saying that, is that landing for you? Or are you saying, whatever, it's not a big deal showing up? Are you discounting who you are? Are you discounting your behavior and how you show up? Or every time you're a little more consistent, are you saying to yourself, I did that? I say at seminars, pull out your wallet and point at it and go, I did that. And if you're in debt, you did that. Yes, own the result in your life and then step forward through it. Ask for help or move on. Yes? When you look at your body, say, I did that. And if you've sculpted your body in a way that you're proud of, then own that. And if you're not where you want to be, ask for help. Decide that you're going to make some new choices. We're in a society where it's really easy to be addicted to sugar. I was eating supper last night, and then I had a little bit of a sweet tooth afterwards. And I'm like, why do I want sweet afterwards? And the people I were with are saying, well, we're all addicted to sugar, dude. The society has us trained to be addicted to sugar. Sometimes society gets a little stranglehold on us, and we don't even know it. And then we become, our energy changes, and we don't feel like making the moves that we do. All right, moving on. I have poor management of my time. So this is a beautiful thing, is that you have 24 hours a day, and so do I. You can't manage your time. You can only manage your priorities. The Sunday system for success that I have, that if you, I think, pretty sure, help me out team here, if they enter hashtag Sunday System for Success or SSS, I think they can find the course here somewhere for free. It's a course we sell for $300, but we've made it available for the M1 community, at least until this fall, and then we're going to start charging for it. It's about an hour's course of videos, and I teach you all of the reasons why people struggle with managing their time and how to overcome it. So please, if you struggle in that area, get access to the knowledge. It's been 15 years I do it, and it's allowed me to achieve way more than most people. And if you ask Ariel or a few other people, they say that it saves them about 5 to 10 hours a week when they follow it. So time management, again, not being a good salesperson, feeling like you have a different schedule. These are all parts of you telling yourself on some level you're so different or unique you can't get what other people get. Cut that out. Stop it. You can get it all. You can have it all. But we need to work through our limiting beliefs. We need to nurture the antithesis of it through incantations and through self-thought and self-conversation to believe we can have it all. And to remind each other and celebrate with each other and reflect back to each other that you can move through your schedule of working 12 hours, 14 hours a day and thinking small and having more. You can do it. Susan says we unconsciously get addicted to our own limitations. Time to get more conscious and self-aware. Exactly, Susan. And we get addicted to them because it becomes part of our identity. And if you know, I wrote a book called The Power of Your Identity because the strongest force in human nature is a desire to remain consistent with how we describe ourselves. And we describe ourselves as poor with managing, not enough time, not good with people, not good salespeople. Then we manifest that. We live that out. And this is why I go back to what I said before, is clarity is power. Decide what you are. I'm a fun-loving person who, yes, I don't like to stick to a schedule like Ian Loba says, but I put in some major activities that serve me for the greater good of my life. And then I have some loose times when I can do whatever I want. You can language yourself and speak into your own future. My belief is that progress comes very slowly, says Igor. Well, in many cases, the path to success is a slow, progressive one. It's like the tortoise versus the hare. I don't disagree with that, Igor. The question is, are you willing to do and notice your progress and celebrate it and feel good about it? Or are you always saying to yourself, it's not fast enough? So be cognizant of that and maybe ask your pod or people around you where you want success, create the gap on the goal that you want with your one sheet, and then see if it's reasonable the amount of time you're taking there, or if there's possibly a way for you to short circuit. Yazi, I cannot control my sugar. So sometimes you might need help, honestly. We need help sometimes to make a shift. We need to be around other people that can help us. I can tell you that for me, I have gone through periods where I've gone on fasts and I've gone for long periods of time eating mostly green, and the addiction comes over. The challenge is that everywhere we go, they're dangling sugar in front of us, and then it's easy to get back on that ride. But the declaration, I cannot control my sugar, how could you change that? What would be another one? Every day in every way, I choose to replace my sugar addiction with something else. Bit by bit, I resist my sugar addiction. Sugar is like cyanide. It is bad for me. You can language yourself into a new behavior bit by bit, or you can change cold turkey with the help of an environment or other people. Make sense? I've been putting off writing my book because I believe that my words will not help others intend and I'll be outcast. Boo, Aaron! When I wrote my first book, I was ashamed. I'd be on a plane and people say, what do? I don't want to say I'm an author. I thought it was crappy, you know? Robert Kiyosaki says, I'm not a best writing author, I'm a best-selling author. And today you don't have to have a perfect written book. In fact, most of us speak today very, very casually together. And grammar isn't recognized the way it is before. So do you have a message that can be heard? And are you ready to put yourself out there and then maybe correct it? I'm in the process of rewriting this book 10 years later and cleaning it up. So, you know, perfect is the enemy of done. We choose the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, yes. Britt says to Yazi, let's do a sugar-free month together. There you go. When you put out your areas that you want to improve and you're vulnerable, then it unites you with other people. When you isolate yourself and hide in your secrets, then you do it alone and rarely do you transform. We choose the pain of discipline, pain of regret. We choose the pain. Wow, that's a popular one. Nicholas, paralysis and analysis. Waking up at 5 a.m. every day and doing admin stuff. I also need to be better planner for my ultimate goals. I get fearful about the plan and I need more help. Listen to the Sunday System for Success, Nicholas. It's going to talk about why we don't plan is because we fear the failure. So it's better to not admit that we have a plan so that we can then say, well, I wasn't committed to that. But that doesn't get you to break through to the next level. Sunday System for Success. Somebody on the team, let me know or post it here where people can access that special recording that will allow you and help you with your time management. It's brilliant. I think it's awesome. It served me, and the people that are doing it get great results. Yazzie, Britt, let's do it. Yes, yes. Now make that declaration and own it. And if you struggle, help each other. See if anybody else wants to jump on that bandwagon. Collect the evidence of a smart planning. Yes. Yazzie, Jen, and Britt Taylor. Keep the tribe posted on how it goes, says Mick. Jennifer, I get nervous to speak up in small groups, not only in my mind, but my body physically reacts as well, even when I know I can add value to the conversation. Yes, Jennifer, you are not alone. 63% of the population would rather be dead than speak in public. And by the way, it has nothing to do with your speaking skills. It has to do with the fact that you care what people think of you, because the human spirit wants to connect, it wants to be liked, it wants to be appreciated, it wants to belong, and it thinks if I step up and I say something foolish, then people are going to think I'm not worthy of being their friends or connecting with them. And it is really as simple as that. So the antidote is to, bit by bit, get up and even maybe in a situation when you're nervous to speak up, say, hey guys, I'm a little bit nervous to say something here. I'm afraid that what I have to say isn't going to add any value, but I'm accessing my courage and I'm just wanted to say this. Wow, would that be ballsy to say that? Would people support you, do you think? Would they go, oh, you're stupid? Or would they go, oh no, come on, it's okay, thank you. Access your courage, access your courage. Do what you fear and it will disappear. You can go for it. Speak up. Your voice is wanted to be heard by the world. And most of the time, you have the same thoughts of other people anyway. All right, a couple more as we wrap it up here. Beliefs are part of our identity. If I want to change my identity, should I start with my beliefs or habits first, says Roman. Both are good. Come at it from both sides. Make a pintha, right? Either one. Beliefs are going to drive your behavior for sure. But if you change your behavior, for instance, you say I'm not a morning person, you set the alarm to get up 15 minutes earlier, and you throw cold water on your face as soon as you get up, you're changing a behavior which gives you the evidence that you can actually do it. Or you gather the evidence is that there's no rules on being a morning person or not a morning person. A child isn't born saying I'm not a morning person. You collect evidence over time, like I did by growing up on a farm, that I am a morning person and that it's early, the early bird gets the worm. See, that's a belief. And that, if I get these things done before the rest of the world wakes up, I get the edge on the world, evidence. So start to collect the evidence of the thing from other people that are opposed to the result that you're getting. Does that make sense, Roman? So speak to people who are getting the result. Model them and ask them, what do you believe about getting up early in the morning? Or what do you believe about being a salesperson? Robert Montgomery talked to Ian Lobus about sales. He's fantastic at sales, and he doesn't really feel like he's sales. He just feels like he's helping people. Isn't that a different belief, a different frame, a different way to look at it? Makes it completely possible for you to be good at sales if you believe that you're just helping people ultimately make a decision that they want to make. Salvatore, my time gets pulled in too many directions and is limited by 2 little kids. Not that they are a burden, but a real challenge in making me the most every minute. Salvatore, I went through that when I had young kids. I had 3 kids under the age of 4 when I was building my real estate business. I was a real estate agent from 1990 to 1997. My kids were born in 92, 93, and 94 and 95. Sorry, 92, 94, 95. Oops. It was tough. But if you focus on the end result of leading an epic life and you take care of your energy levels, I would put the kids to bed and I'd go downstairs in my little office and work. When they were awake, I would play games with them that are oriented towards maybe helping me even with work. If I want to, let's say, send out flyers, I would be playing with the kids while licking envelopes and coloring, and I could be doing paperwork beside them. There's a way as long as we're committed and creative. Brad Johnson, I am. Yes, I am. The words that follow I am follow you. And we're past the bottom of the hour, but I'm going to keep on going. If you have to go, you got to jump on another call. Totally respect that. Go for it. I'm going to just answer a few more questions here because I think that this is maybe one of the most important topics, and I have not been giving it a lot of time, and I want to give it more time because whatever behavior you're pushing through to try to create, you keep on getting dragged back by the limiting belief that's lurking in the background that sometimes we don't even have an awareness around. And as an example, if you want a lot of energy and you're addicted to sugar, that can stop you and can give you cycles, even cycles of depression when you eat a lot of sugar. Aaron Velke, yes, I have the same limiting belief. We should connect and bust it. Look at Britt all over the place. What is the 10 rules? Where can I find them? You're going to be delivered those every Monday morning as you go through this unit. So just be patient. Do your assignments every week, and we're going to give you the rules in your first 4 months, one by one, and you're going to learn to master them. Just be patient. They're coming. Mark says, I take a ton of action in my life. My difficulty comes from the celebration. For example, I met all of my goals in M1 and have only rewarded myself once. Any thoughts, feelings surrounding this? Yes! Mark, learn to celebrate. And there's a million ways you can celebrate. You can look in the mirror and say, I am a badass. You can schedule things in advance. When I hit this landmark, I get X. If you look at rule number 2, what is it? Rule number 2 is raft your goals. And the reason we do that is because the 5th piece of rafting your goals has to do with what? Thrills, celebration, rewarding yourself in small ways and big ways. One of the reasons people don't reward themselves, Mark, and I don't know if this is your situation, is they believe they'll lose motivation to keep on going. There's nothing wrong with giving yourself a pat on the back, celebrating, and finding other people to acknowledge you that keeps you going. Post your celebrations in M1. Announce them. Share them with your pod, with other people. And ask, have the courage to ask that you'd like to celebrate. Hey guys, I'm working on my celebration muscle. I wanted to post here something that I hit, and I'd love a few people to, be able to celebrate with. And you're going to give permission for other people to do the same thing. So thank you for sharing, Mark. Great job. Sarah, I have a belief I can achieve anything but get my weight and my health in order. But hopeless at managing my finances. Okay, hold on. I can achieve anything but get my weight and health in order. I am great at getting business, but hopeless at managing finances. These are my underlining assumptions. Okay, awesome. So thank you, Sarah. We're going to help you with your finances. If you saw my little video I did on the 6 bank accounts, that's step number 1, is for you to do that. And regarding your health, well, often what happens, people who have health issues have issues where they had parents or people in their life that told them that they were unworthy, that they wouldn't amount to much. Some form of shaming that happened from people that you loved, and therefore you hide behind not getting your weight in order. So what's a great book for that? Well, Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life is one. Any book on boundaries is another one. Boundaries in marriage or just boundaries in general. Letting Go by Dr. Hawkins is good. The Untethered Soul is good. There are some limiting beliefs around usually self-worth when you struggle with weight and health. Look at it this way. If we totally love ourselves, we're going to treat our bodies well. And by putting things into our bodies and not working out, there's a belief in there that we don't deserve to be loved the way we want to be loved. That's a heavy conversation, I know, Sarah. So we're just touching the tip of the iceberg. But definitely something, you may want to talk to Nick Spone about some hypnosis or about some Reiki and see where that goes, okay? Mick, you will get them in a few weeks. Be patient, okay? For Nicholas, familiar with the Panda Planner? No, I don't know that. I'm definitely having a challenge with feeling worthy. Of course, Robert, we all are. Don't think you're alone. We all do. We all do. In the same, I'm in the same bore, Mark, always grinding and almost never celebrating, says Roman. So then we're going to work on that as a group. Guys, let's celebrate more and more with each other. Post your wins. Look, in this tribe, we don't apologize for being awesome. And that means you get to celebrate your little victories as well as your big ones. So let's make it a theme for the next 7 days to celebrate our successes. Celebrate finish reading a book, or getting up 15 minutes earlier, or doing your journaling at night. Staying in the guardrails of success. Let's make this week the theme of celebration. Okay? Ivan, my flying schedule is also different. Yes, you're a flight attendant, and that can be a positive or a negative. There's always ways to look at it in both ways, but definitely you've got to be a little bit creative. I have to do my miracle mornings at different times than just early in the morning. And by the way, a miracle morning is simply getting up earlier than you have to have time with yourself so you can create the energy for the day. So if you have to get up at, for a 6 o'clock flight and you're up at 4 o'clock, you got to get up at 3:30. I got up at 4:30 here in California to do the Rise with Rock. I'm often up for meetings at that time. There's a way if you're committed and you're creative. And thank you. Still 37 people on the call afterwards. I just want to answer a couple more questions and I'm going to let you go. I have to do my miracle morning at different times. Okay. Hey, Robert, my feelings of sales is when you sell someone, it's the first point you give them value. Are you confident in the product you're offering? Brad, my incantation steamrolls those shitty insecurities each morning. Beautiful. Tara, playing safe and making secure decisions has always been rewarded in my family. Yes. So we're going to develop, Tara, a new belief, a belief where you can say that being bold and being out there is going to reward life. Think of somebody, whether it be Jeff Hoffman and how he solved problems, or a mentor that solves problems by being bold. Elon Musk or Richard Branson. These people are bold, yes? Question, you mentioned step 1, awareness of what you want. Step 2, what's holding belief back? I might have missed the other steps. What are they? So then the antithesis of what's holding you back. What's the opposite of holding you back? So if you're not a morning person, then the opposite would be, I love getting up and having time for myself. Creating an incantation, a statement, a declaration, part of a new identity, and then spending time with it. In my book, I give you the 9 ways that you can spend time with your new identity, Darren. I'm introverted. I love meeting new people and asking them these 3 questions and come up with 3 questions. What are you excited about? How can I help you? And what's the purpose of your life? As an example, be an interested person versus trying to be interesting, which holds you back. I'm not good at standing up in small groups and speaking my voice. I choose to be bold and courageous. And as soon as my mind says I can't, that's when I step up and I do what I fear until it disappears. So the final step is creating an incantation, a statement, a declaration, a new part of your identity that you can step into, Darren. Shine bright, don't fade out. Yes, almost 70 people. Whoa, no fading out when you show up. Life changes. Holy shit, I'm in a lot of debt. Yeah, so remember that everything is framing. Eric, you live in LA. What if you were to take my idea of a couple of hours a day and recharge some of those birds? Do they have them around where you are? If not, are you willing to give up something in your life in order to attack that debt and get it under control and build your dignity? Melissa, wow, I just noticed that I discounted myself. And if everybody's honest, I'm willing to say everybody does it, including Tony Robbins. I've seen him do it. I've seen him be uncertain, believe it or not. It's super powerful for all of us to show up in this space. You move forward from clarity. Yes, that is me. Okay. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's so many questions left. Okay, so I'm not going to get to them all. Let me just scan for 1 or 2 more. Send me a message if you want in on the sugar-free, says Mark. Eric, the 3 questions, make them up. Just go up to people and say, what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? How the heck did you get into what the business you're in? I used to do that when I went to cocktails. How in the world, hey, what do you do for a living? How in the world did you get into garbage collection, flying planes, whatever? And then ask them again, what are you excited about? What makes you so interested in doing that? Be interested in other people. It's the best way for an introvert to deal with uncomfortable situations. Jimmy Hughes, dealing with different time zones is a great way to learn flexibility and see the best in new situations. 100%, Jim. Lindsay, this was an amazing rise with rock. Not that there aren't always, but this one really hits home. Thank you, Lindsay. You're a gem. Nick Kahn, instead of I need to, how about I get to, or I'm looking forward to? Does that sound better? Yes. Remember that words are the building blocks to your thoughts. Thoughts shape your feelings, and feelings create your actions. So if you're not acting in a way that you want to act, the belief often leads to the words. So you say something like, you have the evidence and reference that I'm not a morning person. You struggle with getting up. You hit the snooze button. It may be because you're not passionate about your job. But you say to yourself, oh God, I struggle to get up out of bed. Well, the words, I struggle to get up out of bed, now create a feeling of I'm tired, which create a result called I'm not a morning person. So if you peel it all back, you want to, it's like you ever had a parent say to a child, use your words. Well, use your words, change your words, and upgrade your words. Salvatore, I believed I was lazy. Now I believe that I improve my work ethic day by day and continue to get better. And that's a beautiful incantation right there. So Sarah, I grew up in a violent home as I grew up. Yeah, totally, Sarah. I get it. And it's time to come home and heal, sweetheart. It's time for you to realize that that is not you. It's time for you to trust your body and to trust yourself and to know that you deserve to be loved. That little girl in you deserves to be loved completely and wholly and in a safe environment. Trust the process. We're going to work you through that. And we're going to make sure that you start to feel safer as you go forward. All right, sweetie? Dylan, how can someone overcome this sort of issue? I'm not sure which issue you're talking about, Dylan. Did you post something earlier that I can relate it to? I'm not sure what you're referring to, Dylan. If you're still on the call, send me a private note, and I'll address your question, okay? And if any of you have anything, I can't make rent. I used to believe, Dylan, I think a major unconscious belief that some people, okay, I think a major unconscious belief that some people have identity-wise is that they get so used to failing or things not falling through that they become actually scared of being successful because success and happiness can feel alien. And very true. I'm certainly guilty of this at certain moments. How can someone overcome this sort of issue? Yeah, totally understandable. When we say that, I'm going to end it on this one, guys, is that we become afraid of success. And we start to, first of all, we say comfort zone. I like the word you're using there is familiar. You are going to be attracted to what you're familiar with. If you're familiar with sleeping in, then that's what you start to build as an identity. If you grew up on a farm like I did, you're familiar with getting up early, you develop that as an identity. If you're familiar with struggling and somebody throws you the ball and you drop it, throws you the ball and you drop it, you start a business, you fail, you get a job and it doesn't work out, you become familiar with being, quote unquote, a loser or not getting the results that you want. And then you actually start to get rewarded for it in many cases. In many cases, you get rewarded for not getting results, and then people start to help you, and then you get connection and love from that. So you're like, you know what? I'm meeting my human needs, which you'll learn in rule number 4, by the way. I'm meeting my human needs of getting the connection and belonging and the love and the attention negatively, right? And you may not even be conscious of it. Most people are not conscious of it. They're unconscious of what they actually want. What you want is you want to connect. That's when you're happiest. You want to belong. You want to be part of something. And you want to make a difference. You want to contribute. So if you're meeting those negatively with a big ass problem like I just can't get a job, I just can't pay my debt, and you live with your aunt, or you live with a friend, or you live at home with your parents and you struggle, but you have somebody else who is not aware that they're enabling you to be that way, or you're addicted to sugar and they like sugar, so they start bringing you sugar and you all eat together and you connect that way. You're meeting your needs on an unconsciously negative way. You have difficulty fighting out of that because why? You're meeting your needs. What we want to do is find a way to meet our needs at a higher level, at a higher vibration, which is to make a difference, which is to stop eating sugar for a while and have more energy and be capable of charging toward our goals, because the human spirit is meant to grow. If you're familiar with not getting the results that you want, then how do you get familiar with it? Is you start to, again, step number one, get clear on what you want. What's the purpose of your life? Why are you here? And most of the time, we are here to grow and evolve our soul. And you know that deep down inside of you, to contribute and to help others. So start to focus on helping others. Do something today where you can help somebody else as a start. Do something where you love yourself. Abundance comes from self-love. So start loving yourself, putting sugar in your body, not exercising, telling yourself that you can't make it. Staying at home and isolating yourself and not going out and applying for a job is not loving yourself. So those are some of the things you can start with. And then when you do succeed and you do something difficult, remember in life, if you only do what is easy, life will be difficult. If you do what is difficult, life becomes easy, but you also build self-esteem, esteem for yourself. And then you start to become more comfortable with getting results and achieving things. And then be in an ecosystem like M1 where you're supported, encouraged, and challenged. And as you do that, you'll be in that environment. You'll be part of a pack, a tribe of people that recognize that you're growing and evolving. Remember, your mentors are comfortable with your future. And your friends are comfortable with your present. And they're going to continually see you as that struggling person. I see all of us as successful, contributing, growing, dynamic people. We need to reflect that for each other. Yes? We need to reflect that for each other so that we can start to be comfortable with more success, with being the type of person that we can be, that we want to be, that we were born to be. You're in an environment, unfortunately, that has reflected to you a lower part of yourself. Today is a new start, a fresh start for you to claim your new identity and for you to start to be comfortable with success. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but it will work. And it will work gently and progressively. Remember, I am your mentor, and other people on this call are your mentors, and I am comfortable with your future. I am comfortable with your success. I am comfortable with you growing through where you're at to the next level. And now we need to hold that space for each other. You also have a team of people in this call and on this call and in this environment that are here to reflect that back for you. Nick and Ian are coaches. You've got your community managers and leaders and ambassadors that are all in this environment to remind you to reach for your greatness, and when you fall down, to ask somebody to cheer you on. I say to people, I will never quit on you if you don't quit on yourself. The only time I will not be here for you is if I am dead. And I don't plan on having that happen soon. My commitment to you is for you to claim your new identity and for you to step into it bit by bit. If you have to get up 1 minute earlier every day for the next 30 days to get 30 more minutes into your life, then go ahead and do that. I'll patiently wait for you to do that. If you struggle with some of your limiting beliefs and they're holding you back and you beat yourself up and you treat yourself poorly, then I am here, and so is the team, to help you work through that. Claim your courage, ask for help, and let's all grow together, bit by bit, in this community, at our events, and watch our bank accounts grow, watch our energy grow, watch needless weight shed off of us as we fall back in love with ourselves again. and we have the wherewithal to get up, look in the mirror, look ourselves deep in the eyes and say, I love you. Because abundance comes from self-love, and then you can go and contribute to other people. So I hope that this has been valuable for you. Don't hide, don't isolate yourself, engage. One of the greatest things that you can do is to, in this environment, is to cheer other people on. Yes? Cheer other people on. And slowly step into your new identity. And know that Papa Rock is here for you. For all of you. I love you guys. God bless.